Why is Bitcoin the apex predator? It's because it is so liquid in every market. And it's not an exaggeration. You can sell it at any time. And that's what we see. People are using Bitcoin as that dumping ground for their fears. Geopolitical uncertainty, fear of war, fear of pullbacks in their favorite stock market, like AI or whatever, or even precious metals. It is because Bitcoin is so liquid and so easy to use that it is the dumping ground for a lot of these guys when they have any fear. But going back to your original question, like, the metals are the indicator that something is happening. And if you look at that chart of the German mark against gold when it was collapsing, it's like going like this, right? That's basically what we're seeing right now. The massive run up in metals and back down. And eventually this will bleed into Bitcoin, in which I call is the great rotation. As those people start understanding that what they want is actually Bitcoin. What they're seeking as a safe haven is Bitcoin. But that is going to take a bit of time, but it will come. And there's a massive amount of capital. Like, you saw gold double its market cap. You know, it went from 20 to 40. Silver went 3.4 times, right? So there is enough money floating out there. It's not that there's not enough paper fiat money out there. There is plenty of fiat paper money out there. And that will make its way to Bitcoin.
Samson Mow just revealed what could be his boldest market thesis yet, something he calls the Great Rotation. You need to understand this now, because the market is moving, even while headlines scream Bitcoin crash. Mow argues something much bigger is unfolding. Capital isn't disappearing. It's rotating, moving, reallocating. And most people are too focused on short-term price swings to see the structural change happening in real time. His insight bridges the gap between fear and fundamentals, between what the charts seem to say and what institutional money is actually doing. While retail panics, long-term capital is quietly building positions. He believes Bitcoin is setting up for what traders call God candles, massive vertical moves that shock the market. His thesis? We're about to rip back to 100K, shake out the weak hands, and then explode even higher, possibly 2x or 3x from there. Why? Because the old 4-year cycle narrative may be dead. Mow argues Bitcoin's market structure has fundamentally changed. This isn't 2020 anymore. Back then, it was mostly retail and macro liquidity. Today, we have institutional giants. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is one of the fastest growing products in their history. Treasury companies like MicroStrategy are raising capital specifically to buy Bitcoin, what Mow calls the infinite bid. They're not trading. They're accumulating at scale. That changes everything. He compares belief in repeating cycles to flipping a coin and expecting the same sequence forever. Markets evolve. And right now, Bitcoin has been battered for months while gold, silver, and tech stocks ran. From a capital rotation perspective, it looks underowned. His core message? If you're not forced to sell, why sell into structural accumulation? My take? He's highlighting a supply squeeze narrative. If even a fraction of the trillions that flowed into gold rotates into Bitcoin, the breakout could be violent. The question isn't whether volatility comes. It's who gets shaken out before the move. If you found this breakdown valuable, like, comment, and subscribe. We're bringing you more powerful clips from Samson Mow's Market Insights.
Again, all roads lead to Bitcoin, and it sounds cheesy, but it's true. Like, I have a friend who came into some fiat money, and we were talking about it, and he's like, well, what if Bitcoin goes lower? I'm like, I don't think it'll go lower, but it can always go lower. But even if it does go lower, what would you rather? You know what Bitcoin is. He's a Bitcoiner. Like, where else would you put your money? And you have to just reason through it. Like, he can buy gold, he could buy silver, he could buy real estate, he could, keep it in dollars, he could buy bonds, but realistically, he knows none of that stuff is going to perform. Even if Bitcoin is going down and it's going to be a bear market, it doesn't matter, because long term, it's going to outperform everything. This is how I think it's going to play out. We're going to see a few God candles come. We're going to jump back up to 100K. And a lot of people will be like, okay, I'm going to get out now before the bear market hits, because they believe in the 4-year cycle, or they believe the bear is saying it's going to crash. And then once they exit, then it's going to just run up like gold did, or like silver did, at least double or triple. And then they're going to regret it, and they're going to buy back in.
What are your thoughts short term? Like, could you see us going down to 50s and then created like a launch pad and just took off?
It would surprise me. I think this is already very low. Like, in my view, is unbelievable. That's like dropping to 15K. Because a lot of the TA guys, or even the people that believe in the 4-year cycle, it's like they just have this belief in their head without any substantiation to it. Like, the market structure of Bitcoin is fundamentally, markedly different today than 4 years ago and the 4-year period before that. But even that aside, like, just because you toss a coin 4 times, and I keep repeating this, and you hit heads, heads, tails, heads, it doesn't mean you're going to keep getting that sequence forever. That's not how math works. That's not how probability works. So, it's like that, throw that away. But fundamentally, the market structure of Bitcoin today is completely evolved massively from the last 4-year period, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't even think it's the 4-year periods. It was just the business cycle and amounts of money flowing in that drove Bitcoin in those cycles. But right now, today, you have institutional buyers of Bitcoin, and you have treasury companies. You have BlackRock, which is the largest asset manager on the planet, pushing their Bitcoin ETF, which is their fastest growing, most profitable, and likely biggest driver of their revenues for the next 100 years in the game. And then you have all the treasury companies. You have Strategy. They will buy at any price. And they will do that because they have their preferreds that they can use to raise capital non-dilutively to buy forever. And that's what I call the infinite bid. It's just going to buy Bitcoin forever at any price. Then you have Metaplanet, you have Strive with these are all companies that are structuring these preferreds. And guess what? There are more coming. Then you have BSTR from Atom. Then you have XXI from Tether and Jack. Like, it's not going to stop. And even if there's that joke like Saylor will buy and then we'll dip the next day. How many days in the week are there, right? Like, eventually, there is not enough time for it to dip before the next treasury company executes their big purchase from their preferreds, right? Mm-hmm. And if you think about it too, like, what would drive us lower? If you look at the past days, I think the first day, Saturday, was a mass liquidation of an Ethereum trader, like a big Ethereum trader. He blew himself up and lost $250 million, and that tanked us. And then us dragged down by the precious metals and fears in Korea. Like you said, there's so many things happening so quickly. But like that is it. Like, this is forced selling. If you don't need to force sell, like let's say you're a holder of ETF, even if you're a retail holder of an ETF, and you don't need to force sell, and you've written Bitcoin off, you think, okay, I'm going to go and buy real estate, whatever you want, right? You should set a limit order or tell your broker, I want to sell at 87 because I know Saylor will buy at 87 eventually. Why would you keep selling down? And the fact is, we've been sideways, in my view, for a year, and we've had 4 clear red months. So Bitcoin has been battered. And I don't think people realize how battered we've been. Like, Bitcoin is overdue for a big move up. Even if it's just to reclaim previous ATH's all-time highs, it is overdue for that. Because we've taken every single beating. As the metals went up, we went sideways and then down. But the stock markets, traditional tech stocks have had a run. Everything has had a run except for Bitcoin. So I see this for value investors. They have to identify that the opportunity is here. You can invest in gold again, but what if that is the top for gold? You can invest in silver, but what if silver did top already, right? Bitcoin definitely has not topped. And all you need is $1 trillion of the however many 20 odd $30 trillion that came into the market for precious metals to move into Bitcoin, to rotate to Bitcoin. And you're going to blow off the last all-time high easily because you have also the treasury companies investing as well.
So how does this all play out? Bitcoin sits around $68,000, and on the surface, it doesn't look powerful. It looks uncertain. Maybe it dips further. Maybe volatility shakes out more traders. Maybe some call it manipulation. The truth? No one can predict the exact move. But zoom out. Every major breakout in Bitcoin's history was born from doubt, from boredom, from fear, from moments exactly like this. While most people see chaos, Samson Mow sees transition. Not collapse, rotation, capital shifting, strong hands accumulating. A coiling effect that doesn't feel explosive until it is. Bitcoin has always carved new highs after brutal downtrends. The question isn't whether volatility exists, it's whether this compression is setting up the next expansion. Maybe this is just another pause, or maybe it's the calm before the biggest break yet. I hope this gave you clarity and a fresh perspective on how the market may be reshaping in real time. If you found value in this breakdown, like, comment, and subscribe. We drop daily Bitcoin and crypto insights to keep you ahead of the curve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.